Hey everybody!
We're back, part 3.
Whoop-de-woo!
Finally, discussions for another time. Part 3. We're
Yep.
here. The end of another time, and this is just miscellaneous.
Yeah, this is
You know.
just the catch-all section. We discussed the Marvel and DC in the other two videos, so just
I'm just gonna. I think we're just kind of gonna jump all over the place in this one.
well, we've only got really two topics to discuss here today for this part, so this is probably going to be like the shortest of all of them.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's a couple fun topics too, like just, kind of whatever comes to our brains. The first one, we were going over the shows and video game and comic movies, stuff like that, and that led me to believe something I really
Sorry,
wanted to talk about is The Walking Dead, man.
I haven't watched Walking Dead since I watched like the first half of season 2, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to call it quits there.
The new season finally introduces Negan, and it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan. For those who don't know, he's an amazing actor. He's one of those actors that kind of just jumps everywhere. Like, he was the dad on Supernatural. He's Negan on The Walking Dead. He was the main character in The Losers. He's very much just kind of jumps around show to show. And he was Thomas Wayne in Batman vs. Superman. Which leads me to say, real quick, going back to DC, even though it's a terrible road there, if they ever...
All roads lead to DC.
If they ever do Flashpoint, he totally needs to come back as Thomas Wayne.
No, they won't do it.
Batman.
Now that you've said it, they won't do it.
I really want to see it so bad. He would be such a good Batman. Like, he would be the older Batman. And because he kills it in everything he does. He's a great actor. That's all I really have to say about that. So, topics, I think video game movies was one of them.
That was all you wanted to say for the Supernatural?
Well, Supernatural, okay, so we were talking about horror movies, right?
Right.
And I was telling you that I can't really take horror movies seriously because they've become crappy and because of Supernatural.
Okay.
This is a show that's been on the air going on 12 years now.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I haven't gotten into it, because it's just, there's so much to it. It's so daunting at this point. I don't know where to start.
The original couple seasons, there's a couple seasons that are kind of dumb. They get, the first couple seasons just deal with them trying to kill the demon that killed their mom.
Okay.
Like, these guys are monster hunters. But, because it's been on for so long, they dealt with just about every type of monster that you could think of. So, now when I go see, a scary movie, I'm like, okay, you need to do this, this, and this. Do that, and then let's go. Where are the Winchesters at? I'd save the day in 30 minutes when these things... And that's my biggest problem is this show. I didn't like scary movies that much as a little kid, either because, I was too young and they scared the crap out of me, or then I started watching stuff like... Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction with my dad, and it was like, well, these stories are fake. And also, I know the biggest thing that the reason people are terrified of clowns is it. I didn't see
that movie blows,
dude. I didn't see it till very much later, when I was pissed that I watched a movie for 4 hours and it was a freaking spider at the end, and I was like, this is dumb.
Just be glad they didn't decide to include the child gangbang in the sewers.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that happened. Stephen King wrote a book where a bunch of 11 and 10-year-olds all have sex down in the sewers.
That's weird. Stephen King is weird.
Weird doesn't even begin to cover that, Jared.
Stephen King's always been a freak, though. His stuff is just, it's always been out there.
I don't care. That was just... Ugh.
Anyway, these guys, this show has just dealt with so much stuff to where it's pretty much... The one big twist they did do that I appreciated, they set up something for very much a long run. They introduced a character in about I want to say season 4.
This is on Supernatural.
Yeah,
Okay.
they introduced a character in about season 4, and he started off. He served a very small role. It was kind of an intricate role. Like he definitely had a point to being there, but and then he just disappears for a while, and you think he's dead, because he is a. They originally set him up as a prophet of the Lord.
Okay.
And the rule with the prophets, there's only one at one time, and when a new prophet comes, it's because the old one has died. So this character disappears, and you think he's dead.
Well, thank God that these aren't Ferengi, because there would be many, many rules of the prophets.
Well, you think this guy's dead, and then all of a sudden,
You just gonna let a Ferengi joke just whiff on out?
sorry, man. I'm trying to not take up too much time.
I even messed it up so it would fit your stupid description. It's the rules of acquisition. God,
I'm sorry, man. I'm out.
Thanks for letting the joke slide by there, Jared. Now I feel really good.
They're there.
You could have not farted when you did that. That would have made it a little
didn't
more
fart.
impactful. It's okay. Everybody poops.
Is that what we're to now? Sort of. We are better than the Ghostbusters movie.
In fairness, we actually made a fart joke. They made a not fart joke because it was a queef joke. Which is for women when a fart comes from the front.
Speaking of video games, that should have been the new Ghostbusters. It's like the Ghostbusters video game from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Should have been the new
Yeah, that
Ghostbusters.
should have been here.
But back to
let's go back to the
this guy later on shows up just in an episode and you're like, wait, I thought you were dead. How are you alive? And then disappears for a couple more episodes and shows up in the latest season. Spoiler alert if you're a Supernatural fan and haven't watched the latest season. He's God. This guy is God. And it's like because they go over the theme that
Oh snap! I just realized that we never gave the little hand gesture for the other pig.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, no, we never gave the spoilers over for the other video. I hope you guys like spoilers. Because there's no warning signal to not be spoiler anymore.
We'll figure out what edits.
Yeah, he'll put a little annotation or something in there when it's supposed to not be
But
spoiled.
this guy is God, and it's like I didn't see that coming. You set that up over the course of 6 years, and I had no clue. Well done. Like it was, like I had a friend who was all about that show, and he figured it out. But like that was his jam. Is Supernatural. It's like
My sister-in-law really, really likes that show, so I might have to pick it up so I have something to talk with her about.
like this character ends up being God, and it's quite a twist, and it's like because the latest season deals with the first curse, the original curse, like the original demon and stuff like that, and it's God's sister. Like in the beginning, there was God and God's sister, and God actually, like his sister, like God is everything good, she is everything evil.
So,
And
his sister Satan.
No, she's not a corrupted angel. She is quite literally the darkness in the world, like just darkness incarnate. Like how God is light, and He sealed her away and like cursed her so He could create the universe and have everything flourish, and so it's an interesting concept. And
Might have to give this a try.
then you have like you get into where like Satan and the demons of hell are trying to get her power back, and they quickly realize this is a force they have no business messing with, because this is like darkness in its purest form, and it's healer than all of them.
Question.
Go for it.
can we at some point have a crossover of Supernatural and Hellboy?
I wish. That would be amazing.
Because that would absolutely get me on board to watch all of the original stuff. Because I love me some Hellboy, and if we could have Hellboy
This is
continue
also Supernatural is the show that reminded me that I don't hate Katie Cassidy as an actor. That's kind of going back to our DC stuff as well. She plays Laurel, and for a while
Laurel is annoying.
I really hated her character. Like Laurel eventually, got her groove back, and then they, decided to.
There's your DC rom-com right there.
Then they decide to kill Laurel off, and it's like, oh, well, thanks guys, thanks for doing that. But she shows up in about season 5. She does about 10 episodes, to where she's just kind of like this rogue demon that like she didn't necessarily want to be evil. It's just she had some content when she was alive, but Katie Cassidy absolutely killed the role, and it's like this is thing like it's her doing that kind of acting that just reminded me I don't hate this actress.
Oh, there you get into the problem that you can never quite know exactly whether it's the actor that's bad or whether it's the role that's written badly.
Yeah.
And until you see them in something else where they are good, you're just like, oh, this person sucks. But in all actuality, it's like, no, they don't suck. This writing sucks.
It's also a disappointment when you have an actor that you really like get a bad script.
That's true. That's true.
Which can transition us into video game movies.
It can! Woo!
Because there are so many good actors that
All
get
right.
so many terrible scripts.
I put this on here primarily because we're getting a new one out of Assassin's Creed.
Timmons, please
Yep.
come to the circulation desk.
We're still at the library, by the way.
Yeah, I want to be hopeful about Assassin's Creed, but just
From what the trailer shows, I'm not really all that hopeful.
yeah, video game movies really. I don't know how the Resident Evil movies are still getting made because they're.
Because Mila Jovovich is kind of hot.
Yeah, that's the only reason I can really think. Like, Warcraft is like the highest grossing video game movie of all time, and it's not good.
Well, again, you really got to think what it has to contend against is basically
Prince of Persia held that record.
which
for
again, all it had to really
years.
contend against was Mortal Kombat and the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Don't forget Street Fighter.
How could I? It gave us one of the world's greatest memes. Many of the world's greatest memes, actually.
Well, let's go over a couple just for fun's sake.
What do you want to do, Bison? Take over the world? Of course!
Oh man, wasn't
Love
Bison-
me some M. Bison.
Wasn't
Raw
Bison-
Julia M. Bison.
Wasn't the actor who was playing Bison like dying?
Raul Julia was terminally ill when he took that role. He took the role because his kids were really happy about it. He's like, all right, fine, whatever, I'll fucking do it. And then he dies, and it's like, oh God, Raul Julia, please.
Don't forget Jean-Claude Van Damme as the American. That American accent was terrible.
He didn't even have an accent. He was just like, Bison, I'm going to kick your ass.
Also, like Ryu and Ken, they're the main characters of Street Fighter.
And they're just kind of pushed to the side.
Because it's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Damn,
Like,
Skippy.
for real, like the poster, that half the poster was all the other characters. The top half of that was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
We're negging on this movie a whole lot. It has one of my favorite.
It was still fun.
It has one of my favorite moments in a movie for a bad guy. It's where they're all crowded around the TV while Guile's troops are storming the fortress, and somebody decides to push a vehicle full of explosives towards the building, and they're all all the henchmen are crowded around watching the monitors, and Zangief is just sitting there, it's like, quick, change the channel. It's like, well, you know what? It was a really dumb joke, but
That movie was-
damn it, if the timing wasn't just perfect.
That
so
movie
I
was
will-
so bad, but it was so good because it was so bad.
It was.
And it was.
If you're looking for a bad movie night, you can do a lot worse than Street Fighter the movie.
Yeah, you can do a Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun Li. That's the worst of the worst.
Yeah, I avoided that movie because
It
I
was-
heard it was
It played.
so bad it's just bad.
I was like, the trailer is very much like misled. It was played at one theater, and I made the drive to see this movie. Thank God I saw it when I was drunk.
That's a great thing to admit on camera.
I drove all the way to the rave, got drunk in the parking lot, and went in and watched this movie. And it was the drinking helped because it was bad. It was so
Yeah,
bad.
I tried to watch part of it when it was on TV, and it was just like this. It's boring.
And
Is the big problem.
that just proved to me that some Smallville actors can't act, because that was Kristen Kirk, and she just. I think the only other thing I've seen her in was like The Legend of Earthsea on Sci-Fi Channel.
No.
Sci-fi original movie with Sean Ashmore.
Um,
Iceman took the lead in that one.
hmm.
It was meh. Like, you can watch it, you can not watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just like their Dungeons and Dragons movies. Also, no, they're terrible. Like
Yeah,
the
it's
original
not,
was
it's not
the-
quite video game related, but let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons real quick.
Which one? The original?
Yeah, with
Was-
Marlon Wayans.
and Jimmy Olsen from Lois and Clark.
And Jimmy Olsen from Lois and Clark.
And the little girl from Hocus Pocus.
Was she in there?
She was the queen, the dragon queen girl.
Get out.
That was her.
Wow.
Things you didn't know.
I didn't.
Also, Zachary Binks from Hocus Pocus
Hmm?
is McGee on NCIS.
Hmm. I don't watch that show.
It's 12 years. Gotta be.
Not watching it. I refuse to watch any CSI related.
It's not CSI related. It's a spinoff of JAG.
Oh, is it a spinoff of Jag? I thought it was a
Yeah.
spinoff of CSI.
No, NCIS is a spinoff of JAG.
Oh, I guess because it contains all the same letters. I thought it was a spinoff.
Huh.
Jag was really boring though, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's oh my god. But Jeremy Irons. You will do my bidding.
And let's not forget.
So much fun.
Let's
And
not-
blue lipstick guy.
He was the villain of the second movie, which made no sense.
I didn't even bother with the second movie,
The
so you're
sec-
officially on your own for this.
The second movie, so the blue lipstick guy was the mummy. It was the guy who played the mummy.
Yeah, he wasn't
It was Imhotep from Mummy and Mummy Returns.
God,
He,
why can't I remember?
for some reason, he came back in the second one, which jumped 3,000 years later, to where they're trying to
They needed an excuse not to have Marlon Wayans in it
They're
again.
they're trying to unlock some immortal evil dragon to destroy the world.
Because of course.
And all of a sudden that guy shows back up. He's like, my master sucked. I'm on my own, and I took all this power after he died. And it was the quickest wrap up to a series. At the end of Dungeons and Dragons, you had so many questions left, and this guy was going to save Marlon Wayans and bring him back to life, but
Right.
apparently that didn't happen.
Well, it may have, and 3,000 years later, he's just dust anyway.
Yeah, well,
so.
they do 4 or 5 of them, and none of them have anything to do with the previous one except the first one and the second one. I went back and watched. I bought the first one on DVD a couple of years ago.
Were you sober when you did it?
Probably not. It was $5, $4 at Walmart.
Okay, all right, for $5, whatever.
You know what the DVD did though?
Hmm.
It made it hard to watch the movie.
Really, the DVD did this.
There's a maze to get to the main menu.
What?
You remember the scene where he's going through the dungeons and all the traps?
Sort of. It's been a long time.
You have to go through the dungeons and all the traps to get to the main menu to watch the movie. The movie's so bad they don't want you to watch it, so they put a maze at the beginning to make you get to the movie.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's really, really funny.
They have a little note at the end of it. It's like, congratulations, you've spent all this time. Are you sure you really don't want to just take this out and do something more productive?
I think it says like danger, beware, something like
Well, they're not
that.
wrong.
Whew.
Oh, I'm glad we had this discussion now.
Like, if you ever need a kick, like, go buy that movie offline for like $1, and then, like, it's $1 well spent just to play the base game.
Well, you have to find the DVD. So find it on DVD.
Walmart.com, they'll sell it and like all the other ones for $5.
Probably go buy it for a
Here's
buck.
10 Dungeons and Dragons movie. done
Please
by
take them
some-
away.
Here's New Line Cinema's last movie and a bunch of movies done by the Sci-Fi Channel. Take them all. You know. Here's a 30-pack of Dungeons and Dragons movies for $5.95. Oh man, this was a fun transition.
This was. I'm glad we talked about this.
All
All right, so
we
what
completely
else?
jumped away from Assassin's Creed. I don't know how.
Well,
we
I mean, there's only
went.
so much you can talk about, and I don't think it looks too good. But I've been swindled by a bad trailer before, so I'm gonna kind of play this out. I'm not really hip towards the Animus and how they've got it to where it's this 3D movement thing now.
Yeah.
And
I-
I get that, you kind of want something more interesting than a guy sitting in a chair, but that's not where your action takes place. All your action takes place
Well,
inside his head.
In the later games, though, you had to do stuff as that character. Like,
Right,
you
but
had to-
when you were in the Animus, you were just in the Animus.
Yeah. One thing I think, Will, I love the fact that you say that you've been swindled by a bad trailer because you had been swindled by a bad trailer was the first time I ever heard the words that you were wrong to me, and it just made my day. Like,
You will never hear me say those exact words, though.
You said it. You said it one time, and it was about Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I said I was mistaken.
No, you said you were wrong.
No, I said I was mistaken.
You said you were wrong, and you never admit you're wrong. I
It's
still have
something
to.
I inherited from the Fawns, all right? I can't say that word.
All right, but yeah, Assassin's Creed. It looks like it could be fun, like the assassin, like when he's in the Animus doing.
Right,
the-
well, in the stuff where he's
the
back in time, that looks interesting.
Yeah, the whole. It's a
Yeah, if you can go with the
virtual
trailer,
reality game. Like, when did Assassin's Creed become like? I don't even know of a movie that does that. Like a video game series where you have to move out to. It seems like some bad virtual reality. Like, when did Assassin's Creed become bad virtual reality? The only other movie I've ever seen that is starting to do that, they haven't done it yet, is Sword Art Online. I'd be thoroughly excited to see, because that's an anime based on a world that's supposed to be a video game.
Yeah.
I enjoy that show though.
A lot of people do.
Because they hop from the first season is really good because they're stuck in a game world, but then you have the second half of the first season and season 2 where they're making conscious choices to go back to these game worlds after all they've been through, and you kind of deal the end of season 2 you deal with the repercussions after these characters have been in this game world and how they deal with being in a game where they don't have to worry 24/7 about dying, but also there's a plot device in the second half of the season, like the hero from the first half of the season goes into this new game to finish up like what he started in the original and the game he was stuck in, because somebody maniacally moved a handful of people didn't get to come out of the VR coma because while the server was letting everybody free, this company grabbed a handful of them and threw them in this game because they were working on mind control technology, and so they were using the rest of those people as like guinea pigs. It was really interesting, but the movie, throughout the second season, you're dealing with just kind of him. He starts working and investigating stuff. The first half is for the government. Like, he goes into this game where people are claiming they're killing people in the game, and he has to basically figure out, it's one guy and how's he doing it. And he solves the mystery, and then the second half is just kind of them having fun playing a video game.
That's cool.
And it introduces some new concepts in there, and there's a really good storyline. And this is one of the animes that's done this well. They take away the second half of the season. They really take away from the main character and give a side character a story. Like the main character is still there,
Yeah.
but he's very much a side character for a couple episodes, and it's really nicely done.
That's good. I might have to watch that then.
And then like the third season and third movie are going to get into the whole time, like when he was doing like the whole side character thing, he started working for a company where they were actually trying to integrate VR into the real world through like various forms, like
Well, that's AR then.
well, yeah, it's a headset, and then like, but it's kind of like a pair of glasses. Like
Right.
you put them on, you turn them on, and aspects of the game show up, and then you have like
Yeah, augmented reality.
yeah, but like of course you can't carry around a sword, so you have something that like it's like a sword handle, and it turns into a sword for the game's sake, and stuff like that. I'm waiting for the movie to come out because I can't really talk about it because they've only showed clips and stuff. It looks interesting, and the show really does well with what it starts out 10 years. It's set in like 2024. And the world hasn't changed that much, but it's kind of showed where gaming was going, and I mean it's not wrong. In 10 years we could be there with gaming,
Potentially, yeah.
with full dive VR, where just kind of our brains control our characters, or augmented reality to where we can put on because
I'm much more excited for the augmented reality.
well, like with how big of a game like Pokemon Go was, it's kind of dying down because you had like the people who were like, oh yeah, I'm playing Pokemon Go just to be cool, and then you have the people who really like play it, and then you have the people like me. I love the crap out of that game, and I was really active and stuff, and then I lost my data plan, so I have to wait until I can get a new data plan.
Ouch.
To start playing it again. I found out how you can get rare Pokemon now. You yourself,
No?
as a person. Where you live, I've been out there. There's nothing out there.
Yeah, there's nothing in my house.
If you use an incense, because you live in an area where Pokemon don't spawn, and this is just a fun thing for them too. Using incense, because the game doesn't have like a set of Pokemon that appear out your area, you're more likely to when you use an incense to have rare ones show up.
Really?
Yep.
Ah, neat.
Give it a try.
I'm gonna have to.
Let me know what happens. But that's just a fun fact that I found out. But
So for anybody still playing Pokemon Go, there you go.
Nantech has come out and said that they want to start doing like an augmented reality with Pokemon Go, though. Like they're in the process of developing glasses to where you can see the Pokemon.
Right.
And there's actually already a Pokeball been invented that you can actually throw.
I think that was just as a gag, though.
No, it's kind of like a soft thing, but instead of like flicking your finger, you can actually throw this Pokeball. You will have to, of course, go pick it up,
Right.
but it like links with your phone.
Neat.
There's been a few other things that they've been working on, but yeah, that's the first game, and I could see it working because cell phone games really are a bigger thing with apps and stuff now. So we are very much looking at a gaming revolution right now that could go two ways.
I'm pulling for AR personally. I like that idea a lot more. I think that if we invest the time, it can be a much better asset than VR.
I like the aspects of both. I would like a full dive VR, just because I think the concept is cool. But you're gonna spend a lot more money on full dive VR than you would AR.
I'm going to sell you something that's going to completely sell you on AR technology, though.
Mhm.
You can make a scouter
This is true.
from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And then you can walk around with that little thing plugged over your ear with a little eyeglass.
I mean, you didn't.
Looking badass.
You don't have to sell me on AR because I think it's a great idea. The only thing you take away with AR that you don't, that kind of a problem with AR that's not really with VR, it will at least like full dive VR, is you don't have the problem of the dangers of the real world. Because man, games are great until you get the idiots who don't pay. This really did kind of turn into random. I'm glad. You get the idiots who don't pay attention and
Right.
hurt themselves. It's like Pokemon Go lost some people because they're blaming people walking out, not paying attention, walking out into traffic or off a freaking cliff or playing the game. I'm glad they put the drive stop on the phones in the game. That was a great idea on their part, but it made a lot of people mad.
Well, think about this. If you're riding in a car and you're playing, now you're subjected to this same problem.
Well, you have the option to select that you're a passenger. But
Well, then all they have to do is select, oh yeah, I'm a passenger in this vehicle.
it goes off several times, like in a row. Like that's why but they've also, they've made it to where the spawn system doesn't spawn if you're going like 60 miles an hour. Because like what people were doing is they were getting in cars and then they were like driving slow or driving like mid-speed to spoof the step counter
Right.
to make their eggs hatch faster.
Right.
And it's like, no, go put in the work. But that also led
No,
to
that's
some
work.
that led to some of the greatest internet trolls, like since the nails in the tire thing for snow tracks. I don't guess you know it wasn't nails, it was screws in the tire for snow
People
tracks.
believe that crap?
There's a guy who tried it. But like,
Damn.
it's like empty out your coolant and put water in the, like, dude, just the trolls on the internet, and they were like, stick your phone in the microwave for 5 minutes to hatch a 10K egg. And a guy tried it. He melted his Galaxy S6 and blew up its microwave. Because he was enough of an, like, you have next level stupid with people sometimes.
Yeah, that's very, very true. That's why they come see us for the smart discussions.
Well, like I was saying with augmented reality, that's the only, because I mean, you of course will have people that will pay attention, but then you will have people who will like get so enveloped. And I mean, there's certain games you cannot do augmented reality with. You can't do a racing game for augmented reality.
Right.
Because, I mean, they're
Well, if you're going to do that, you might as well just go racing.
Well, yeah, you'll have to get in a car and go race. Like, so you would have to go on a racetrack, all
Right.
that stuff.
Which, if they did that, they could have special glasses and stuff to do that.
I just think with augmented reality, you would need to set up places that, like obviously like Black Ops games and stuff like that. But I mean, you might as well go play. I think the idea of augmented reality is to eventually just get a healthier generation of gamer. Pokemon Go definitely started it, but you do have the generation of gamer who we went from,
I'll sit on my ass and play if I want.
well, you went from arcades being the number one source of games
Right.
in the 80s to everybody sits on their
The
butts.
80s and 90s.
Well, and you have now like people just sit on their butt. Like there's very active gamers who have an active lifestyle who go out and do stuff.
Well, then you have the problem that it's the choice they have to make.
Yeah, And like it's like with us, man. I know we love our video games, but I know you would love to like go play laser tag sometime.
I love it.
Or
Do you want to go play laser tag sometime?
we've played laser tag before. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
Played it.
You
That
want to
was-
go play again?
Yeah, dude, that was a lot of fun.
There's a laser
Or-
tag place in town.
Yeah, let's go. And while we're there, we can race some go karts.
Woo!
See, like,
See, there's something we could do like a Mario Kart thing.
yeah.
If you had AR for that.
Well, there's the I don't know if it's still open, but there was a go kart place that had it was like go karts on the water, like they were like low powered boats,
Oh yeah,
and it's kind of like a bumper car,
Yeah, it's
like
not a game, right?
thing. I think that'd be fun.
That might be
But
fun.
I mean, like the arcades out there, it still exists. There's not a lot of them, but man, I went to Dave and Buster's. It was so much fun.
I went to Dave & Buster's while I was in Hawaii. It was really packed and really crowded and loud and full of obnoxious people.
We have one in Little Rock now.
So I've heard.
I went on opening weekend, and it took me forever to get a table, but the game room was actually like surprisingly open.
Really?
Like I got to play the games I wanted to play very quickly. They could use more of a selection, but I mean, Playtime Pizza still takes the cake here. They still have the go kart track, the bumper cars, the
Right.
mini golf, the laser tag. So I mean, yeah. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about, man?
Not really. I mean, we covered the video game movies that have come out recently. I don't think anything else really needs to be said about them. They kind of suck. I hope not Hitman, but Assassin's Creed doesn't suck because those Hitman movies sure sucked.
Yeah, they did. I did have an honorable mention of when we did the movie list the other day
Mhm.
that I just completely forgot about it, and I don't know why I forgot about it because it's such a good movie and it was done.
Which list?
It was action. Kingsman.
Yeah, I still have yet to see that.
You can borrow my copy.
I might have to.
I'll bring my copy to you next time we get together and do. It's Sam Jackson plays such a good villain in that, and it's the movie that it knows it's a cheesy spy film, and it's great. It's based off a comic book, so it could
Have to
fall
check
into
that
comic book movies too. But there's a scene in it where the main one of the main spies sits down and has a conversation with Samuel L. Jackson about old Bond movies. And Samuel L. Jackson was like, I was very much, a fan of the old Bond films, and the spy goes, well, I always thought the villain was more fun, just over the top, kind of, and and then they get to the point where they're like, well, I guess it's not really that kind of movie though, and it's done so subtle and so nicely. There's also a scene, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but there's a line that goes, it's not that kind of movie, man. And it's just, and it's like talking about, it's like, now you have to say a cheesy catchphrase. It's like, it's not that kind of movie. And it was like the best cheesy catch. I'm like, yes, there we go. Let's go. Also, the girl that is in that, who plays like Samuel L. Jackson's sidekick. She's the white alien from Star Trek Beyond.
Okay.
She is the new Mummy.
They're making another Mummy?
Yeah. Guess who's the star of it? Guess. Please guess. Think over-the-top action hero who's kind of washed up.
Over the top. Oh, Jesus, that narrows the field.
Who made a movie that was supposed to be an original idea a couple of years ago, but it wasn't an original idea. A totally stolen story.
You really haven't narrowed that field at all.
Ba 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 da 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 da.
You're kidding. Tom Cruise is going to. Oh, Jesus.
He's the new Brendan Fraser.
Tom Cruise needs to stop, man.
I'm sorry. And that's gonna end this video.
Tom Cruise needs to stop, damn it. That's all there is to it. I'm out.
Like and subscribe.